Okay, so cast iron, actually in cast iron the main constituent of the metal is iron and the main constituent of the alloy uh, with the iron is carbon, and the percentage of the carbon will vary from 2.14% to 6.67%. Okay, and the maximum percentage of the carbon present in the cast iron is 6.67%. In some book, you will be getting the 2% of the carbon come also under the category of cast iron, but the actual percentage of the carbon present in the cast iron is 2.14%. Okay, generally we are using for the commercial purpose and for the engineering purpose the from 3 to 4.5% of carbon in a cast iron. Okay, so when the alloy, some alloy elements we are adding and with the carbon content we are melting at the lower temperature than the steel. Okay, based on the percent of the carbon we are going to categorize the cast iron in a various types like the gray cast iron, white cast iron, nodular cast iron, malleable cast iron. So now first of all I will discuss about the gray cast iron. So main constituent of the carbon here will be in the form of graphite flakes, which is surrounded by either ferrite or pearlite, and because of the presence of graphite, the fractured surface of this alloy look like a grayish, and so the name is called gray cast iron. So what is happening when we are going to add some alloy element? Let us take an example of silicon. We are adding silicon in a gray cast iron from 1 to 3% in a weight percentage. So when we are going to add the 1 to 3% of silicon, it will be then the silicon is the responsible for decomposition of the cementite, and also it gives the high fluidity. So the casting of intricate shape can be made easily. Now we will talk about the property of the gray cast iron. So due to graphite flakes, gray cast iron are weak, brittle in tension, are stronger in compression. However, they possess good damping property. They also show high resistance to wear. The application, as I told you, it possesses a good damping property. We use the gray cast iron material for the base structure, bed for the heavy machine, etc. Now coming to the white cast iron. So white cast iron, in the white cast iron, actually what happened here, the silicon content will be so low, and when I'm talking about the low, it means the less than 1%. So then after the as the silicon content is low and the combination with the faster cooling rate, there will be no time left for cementite to get decomposed, and thus it retains in brittle cementite. And because of the presence of this cementite, the fractured surface appear in a white in color, and hence the name of that cast iron is so called as a white cast iron. So now property, they are very hard, brittle, and because of this they are extremely difficult to machine, and thus their usage is limited to wear resistant application like roller in roller mills. So before using the white cast iron, you have to heat it so that it is going to produce the malleable iron. Now coming to nodular cast iron, or also we call as a ductile cast iron. Okay, so here we are adding the alloying for the prime importance in the producing the material. So here what are the alloy? So a small addition of magnesium, cesium to the gray cast iron melt before casting produces distinctly different microstructure. So when we are adding alloy to the gray cast iron, it is going to form as a nodular or ductile cast iron. Okay, so this will result in graphite to form nodules or as sphere-like particles, the matrix surrounded these particles can be either ferrite or perlite depending on the heat treatment process. So property, you can see here, it is stronger, ductile, more ductile than gray cast iron. Application we can take, we are using the ductile cast iron, nodular cast iron in a crankshaft, automotive component, pump body, etc. Now coming to the malleable cast iron. As I told you before, just in the white cast iron, when we are going to heat treat the white cast iron, it is going to produce malleable cast iron. So, and generally, thus we can say that malleable cast iron is going to be formed after the heat treating process being on the white cast iron. So, the heat treatment process involves like the heating of the material up to 800 to 900 degrees Celsius and keep it for the long hour before cooling it to the room temperature. So high temperature incubation causes cementite to decompose and form ferrite and graphite. So what are the properties of the malleable cast iron? It is more stronger with the white cast iron with some appreciable amount of ductility. Where we are using malleable cast iron like the railroad, connecting road for next marine and other heavy duty service. Now coming to the compacted graphite iron. Here some relatively addition of family of the cast iron called as a CGI, that is nothing but compacted graphite iron. So in the gray, ductile and malleable iron, the carbon exists as a graphite, which formation is promoted by the presence of silicon. And the structure, the appear for the compacted graphite iron is just like a vermicular shape. So property, when you are talking about the property, so it increases in degree of nodularity of the graphite particles, and that leads to enhancement of the, that leads to increase of the strength as well as the ductility. Okay, so both here when you're talking about tensile strength and yield strength will be more compared to the other type of this the cast iron like ductile cast iron, malleable cast iron, it are greater than those absorbed for the higher strength gray iron. So now when you are comparing to the other iron types, you will get some good characteristics like it possesses higher thermal conductivity comparing to the other types of the cast iron. It also possesses a better resistance to thermal shock and lower oxidation at elevated temperature. The application you can find it like flywheels, brake disc, diesel engine block, etc. Now coming to the wrought iron. So wrought iron is generally composed primarily of iron with 1 to 2% of added slag. The byproduct of the iron ore smelting, generally a mixture of silicon, sulfur and phosphorus and aluminum oxide. So during the manufacture, the iron is removed from heat and worked with a hammer while still hot to get into its intended final form. So property, now talking about the property of the wrought iron. So wrought iron is often characterized by its fibrous appearance, but it also softer and more ductile than cast iron. The wrought iron is highly malleable. It means that it can be heated, reheated and work into various shapes. In fact, it gets stronger the more it works. The wrought iron has much higher tensile strength than cast iron, making it more suitable for horizontal beams in construction. In general, it strongly resists fatigue. So now, what is the basic difference between the wrought iron and cast iron? So cast iron is the iron that can be melted, poured into the mold, allowed to cool, whereas the wrought iron is type of the iron can be heated and then work with the tool. So in fact, we can define wrought is derived from the past participle of the word work. So now we will discuss I will tell you some important alloy, and when we are adding that alloy element into the cast iron, into the iron, what will happen? What will be the effect? First of all, nickel. Okay. So when you are adding the element nickel, then it will increase the machinability of the cast iron by improving the carbon structure. Coming to the copper, it will also improve the machinability, castability, toughness by promoting graphite formation. Chromium will act as a carbon stabilizer, and thus it improves the hardness, strength, and corrosion resistance. Now coming to the next element is silicon. It will act as a softener in the cast iron and thus promoting free graphite and decrease the cementite. Sulfur will promote and form of cementite. Phosphorus will improve the castability of the cast iron. Molybdenum will improve the machinability, toughness, and the fatigue strength, whereas the last one is manganese will reduce the effect of the sulfur on the cast iron, and thereby it will reduce the hardness and brittleness. Okay, and with this we have completed the ferrous material.